Okay, hi Lindsay. I have your portraits in front of me. Um, I'm not sure you grasped the idea of the environmental portrait entirely. What you're presenting here as an environmental portrait is actually, I'm sorry, as a traditional portrait is actually an environmental portrait. You're placing her a third of the way into the frame and you're showing her environment. That's what's going on. You don't really have a traditional portrait here. And yes, you're showing her sweet smile and her good nature. Um, what one photographer said about posing, Mary Ellen Mark, she was doing a project on proms across the United States. And she said, I never tell them to smile because it inevitably looks phony. But if they smile voluntarily, then I grab the picture. So the trick is to work with your subject so that he or she acts very naturally. Well, maybe you did get that here. You probably told her to smile, and her smile looks genuine. So that's fine. But this is just something I want you to be aware of. But this is an environmental portrait. It is not a traditional portrait. I put those links of Arnold Newman and Yusef Karsh at the top of the discussion area for a reason, because I wanted students to click through these and get an idea of what I'm looking for. Now, I'm going to show you an example of Arnold Newman's picture of the composer Igor Stravinsky. Now look at this. Stravinsky is right way down here, and this is a piano, and everything is being used here. Black on white. This looks like a B flat of a musical, like a backward musical note. Uh, Very graphic, very well composed. Triangle here, shades of rectangles. And he's right down here. So this isn't an environmental portrait, as is this. I mean, you didn't intend it as such. This is more of a traditional portrait than the other one, but you're still showing a lot of environment. It's not much of an environment, but you're showing it. This is closer to a traditional portrait, though. But you're placing her at the side of the frame. There's no point to it because why show the environment? If you're going to show if you are going to place her like this, blur this out. Use a shallower depth of field. Don't use F11 or F16 as you're pointing out here. I think it's F16. Yeah, use something like F5.6, and this will be all blurry. The other solution is to come in tight. You don't really need all that back there, see? Come in tight. Here. Much better. See? Okay, I think I'm not even going to go... Well, I'll talk about the other ones. The other pictures you took of him where she's active in the kindergarten or the first grade, that's just a journal. That's a documentary image. That's not a portrait. A portrait is when the subject is looking at the camera. Like here. And here. That's a portrait. She's not looking at the camera in any of those shots. That's not really a portrait. So I wanted to clear that up for you. All right, Lindsay, you still did a nice job. I mean, what you did well, and but you need to know these things. So in this situation, you use a shallower depth of field. That's why we had you do the depth of field exercise. Use a shallower depth of field. You don't need all that back there. All you want the eye to concentrate on her. And another thing to consider here, the shades. You don't see her eyes. A lot of portraiture is about the eyes. I know she's in the sun, but you kind of have to work around that. Okay. Any questions? Please reach out. Take care.